I've got a secret for you. And I'm going to tell it just to you, so... I fucking love pro wrestling! There, I said it. Think I'm ashamed? No.
My favorite thing in the whole wide world is watching a bunch of big, buff, sweaty dudes grapple each other while cameras film it.
And before you ask, I did mean it like that. I did mean it. I meant it. I know the stigma of professional wrestling being fake and gay has been repeated ad nauseum, and while that's not really the case, except maybe that last part, I get it. I get that seeing something predetermined being showcased as something real is very off-putting. I mean, let's face it, you don't see a guy like Conor McGregor tossing fake punches. But to that argument, I say this. Whenever you're watching anything, any movie, any show, any sort of performance that's structured, you want to suspend your disbelief. You want to get into that moment in order to buy into what you're watching and be invested. And to me, that's the beauty of professional wrestling. When it's done right, you completely forget. You see every kick connected is painful. Every death glare is genuine. Every big move landed is devastating. Let's take this time to look at a match that does all of that right. New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling, the second largest wrestling promotion in the world behind you-know-who, but the atmosphere, the personalities, and the stiffness of the style of wrestling makes it completely unique, and regarded by many as housing the best in-ring product on the planet today. But even still, it hasn't completely expanded to a global reach the same way that WWE has. This is what this match tried to accomplish. Omega, a big old mother knucker from Winnipeg, don't you know? That was fucking awful, I'm sorry. Has had somewhat of a breakthrough year. At the beginning of 2016, he lost the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Soon enough, however, he laid out AJ Styles and declared himself the new leader of the Bullet Club. Instead of staying in the junior leagues, Omega said fuck that shit and sought his sight on bigger things. After winning and losing the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, he entered in and won New Japan's annual G1 Climax tournament, being the very first gaijin, or foreigner, to ever do so. This gave him the title shot at Wrestle Kingdom 11 against the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, which would turn out to be... Okada started his year on top. At Wrestle Kingdom 10, exactly 1 year earlier, he successfully defended the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against challenger and resident Japanese John Cena, Hiroshi Tanahashi, capping off a legendary rivalry spanning almost 4 years. Okada would lose the title against Tetsuya Naito at Invasion Attack 2016, but would win it back from Naito at Dominion 2 months later to become a 4-time world champion. He participated in the G1 Climax, but was eliminated. At King of Pro Wrestling in October, Okada defeated Naomichi Marufuji to retain, locking in place the match against Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, that's cool and all, but where's the story?
Don't fucking interrupt me again, you understand? The story of this match is simple. New Japan's goal is to outreach and become a global powerhouse in the world of professional wrestling. Okada wants to prove himself as one of the greats with another successful defense and be the guy to get New Japan to reach that global scale. He is the lifeblood of New Japan. The guy who many see as the face to hold the company on his shoulders the same way that someone like Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin did in the WWE. Kenny's like, fuck you, dude. You see that shit I did last year? That shit was awesome. Well, that's nothing compared to how I'm gonna take that title from you and be the guy, you little fucking dick cheese. Omega is an arrogant son of a bitch whose main goal is to be the very best, despite not giving a shit about the fans or the other wrestlers.
I'm going to do my job and what's expected of me. And that's to get good matches out of all of these pieces of shit.
This has been building for months. Both want to be recognized around the world, and this is the perfect time to do it in their first one-on-one match. Who will be the better man? Also, Kenny did this leading up to the match. It's nothing, but whatever. After the pre-match promo, we opened with a video of Kenny Omega replicating the Terminator and incorporating it into his entrance. Kind of like how Triple H did that one time, but with less, whatever the fuck this thing was. The champion comes out with his bro Guido as thousands of dollars with his face printed on it rain from the sky. Before the match starts, Omega grabs an Okada buck and crumbles it up right in front of his face. Oh shit, it's about to get real now. So the bell rings and the match begins, which starts off with an initial stare down followed by a feeling out process. The pace is slow to start, but it's a gradual build as the drama of the match grows and the crowd crescendos with the action. Very back and forth to start, very even. In the early going, we get some mind games being played by both in order to psych each other out. Omega tries to hit his finisher called the One-Winged Angel, but Okada snaps out of it. He tries to hit his own finisher and...
Oh! I'm Omega showing some disrespect.
Kenny gets the fuck out of there as Okada goes on the chase. Omega tries to outsmart him, but eats a boot for his troubles instead. Okada throws his ass into the rail, but Omega teases a suplex on it. Okada instead lifts him up and drapes his ankles over the rail for a DDT. You remember that clip that I showed when Okada got slammed through the table by Omega? Okada certainly remembers that, and he pulls out one of his own. Now at this point, if it were a match in WWE, it'd be set up in a very obvious place, which gives a dead giveaway that's going to be used later on, and usually for no real reason other than looking cool. Okada pulling it out here is a callback to that moment when he got his shit pushed in, but before he can do anything, Omega stops him. So the fans are going to have to wait to see it now that it's introduced. After Okada launches himself into Omega, Okada takes control for a little bit until Omega readjusts and the game is even out again. Omega pops a Hurricane Rana and flings Okada out of the ring. Channeling the spirit of the Terminator, Omega launches himself over the top rope, ass first onto Okada. I don't want to get the pink eye during this match. Now Omega resumes control with a brutal drop kick to the back of the neck. Okada eventually cuts Omega off and begins building back up his own momentum. Now the match starts to get even more physical. Okada locks a submission onto Omega and he starts to fade, but he snaps up and grabs a rope for the break. More wrestle shit!
I'll himself down, making it a big perhaps. Drove it down. Oh, chain suplex there. Oh.
After kicking the shit out of Okada, Omega busts out a sick nasty moonsault over the guardrail onto the champ. Wait, what happened on the table? Okay, I guess that makes sense. After Okada crawls back over, Omega takes his time to reintroduce him to his favorite little table friend.
Oh.
Omega powerbombs Okada. Cover, kick out. Gut wrench powerbomb. Cover, kick out. Omega's getting pissed now. Meanwhile, those dirty scoundrel young buck fucks set the table up. Omega goes out to plant Okada through the table, but the ref stops him. Good man. Jesus. To distract from it, more wrestle shit! Oh damn, man, is Okada gonna get revenge and plant Omega through the... never mind, Omega's about to do it again. And, oop, well, I guess not. So both of the guys end up going back into the ring and they...
I don't even know how...
That's how you build anticipation for a table spot. Tease it and tease it and tease it to raise the drama, and keep building it up until the eventual payoff. Okada gets his revenge and almost murders Omega with a tiny table. And quite literally, too.
The problem was, he landed lower back on the edge of the platform.
But what could have been the worst is the impaling thing. I mean, it didn't happen, but it was like, he wasn't so far away from where the legs of the table were that if he landed on top of the legs of the table when it broke, that would have been like, it would have been like death.
Eventually, Okada tosses him back and hits him with a huge missile dropkick. Goes for the pinfall and... Jeez. Okada summons the spirit of the Macho Man and drops a sick elbow on Omega. He then gets up and flexes for the camera like a silly little goof. Now, this is the point of the match where it's pretty much over. Okada extends his arms out and the camera does an extreme zoom out, signaling that he's about to go for his finisher, the Rainmaker, which is usually the end of the match. But that Kenny fella is quite persnickety as he manages to fight back and avoid it. He eventually lifts Okada to the top rope. He's not going to do it. He wouldn't actually do that, right? Oh my god, he's actually going to do it. No, please stop, don't! And he's dead! Congratulations to the thousands in attendance for witnessing a murder right before your eyes. You've won a grand prize of group therapy sessions and a refund. No, he's actually still alive. But the way he landed right on his fucking head makes it hard to believe that. So that's the finish, right? No! I'm getting pretty randy right now. So since that attempted homicide wasn't the finish, they keep going. Okada counters Omega's flurry of offense with a gigantic German suplex. Look at Omega's face! He's so goddamn good at selling the match with just his facial expressions alone. And Okada too! They know what to do and how to emote to help accentuate the action and pacing of a match. After Omega returns with a knee to the face, Okada counters with the best damn dropkick I've ever seen. Okada goes for the Rainmaker, counter. Omega goes for the knee, counter. And Omega fucks him up with a knee and a reverse Rana. He clonks him with another hard knee and once again sets up for the one-winged angel. But Okada lands on his fucking feet. Omega tries for the move but gets caught in a tombstone piledriver of death. Oh, it's fucking over now. So, finally... Alright. Okay. Let's take a second to analyze this deeper. Number 1. I shit myself very hard when this kickout happened. Just a nasty little splotch of Dookie Brown all over my pants. Shit! Number 2. The reason this is because the entire match has been building up to this moment. Okada's finisher, the Rainmaker, the move to put any opponent away. So very few people kick out of this move as opposed to WWE, where it's procedure for everyone to kick out of each other's moves over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Not a whole lot of pinfalls were made early on, and even more importantly, not a single time was Okada successful in hitting his big move up until this point. Have you checked the time and realized that this match has been going on for almost 40 minutes and they just waited now to do the false finish? That's because the length of time provided for these two and the way that the match was paced allowed for both guys to tease it, much like the table spot but with even more drama and more payoff since so very few people kick out of this move. It's just perfect. How suddenly Omega snaps up, how the referee reacts, the expression of complete disbelief of Okada upon realizing that he didn't put him away with that. Just, so good! So after causing the Tokyo Dome to explode, Okada gets up and tries to lift Omega up for more punishment. Omega rakes Okada in the eyes and he pays for it. Okada goes for another tombstone, but Omega counters it into a pile driver of his own. Goes for the cover. No! The two start trading forearms until Omega pops behind out of nowhere with a suplex and a knee. Covers in and nope. Omega ends up getting back up and hoists Okada on his shoulders. He tries to hit the one-winged angel again, but Okada counters and pops him back with a Rainmaker out of desperation, but he can't take advantage of it right away. So instead, in the best part of the whole match in my opinion, Okada stands up holding Omega's wrist, preparing to hit him with the finisher again. Seeing this, Omega snaps back to life and starts pounding away with kicks and strikes to the head. But no matter what, Okada does not let go of the wrist. He's taking all this abuse, but suddenly he explodes out with another Rainmaker. Fucking beautiful. In the final moments of the match, the two trade off until Omega hits an Okada-style dropkick. Omega grabs his arm and... wait a minute. Omega goes for the one-winged angel one last time, but Okada counters into a spinning, jumping tombstone pile driver. Okada then hits Omega with a fourth Rainmaker, goes for the cover, and the match is over. Okada retains. After this match happened on January 4th, it actually got a lot of mixed reactions. Some people claim this to be one of, if not the greatest match they've ever seen. Dave Meltzer, the king of wrestling journalism himself, rated this match a 6 out of 5 stars, breaking his own scale and saying,
It had to be one of the greatest matches in the history of this industry.
There are others who thought negatively of the match, most notably longtime wrestling booker Jim Cornette.
Weed's legal in California now. This was not the greatest wrestling match that has ever happened or that I've ever seen. Can you argue with me on this?
But if you want to know my take, I'll say this. I would definitely say that this is one of the best matches I've ever seen. It really does have everything in a pro wrestling match that makes it great. The athleticism of both guys was unbelievable. The intensity of Okada and Omega sucked me into the match, and the way it was paced led me wanting to watch more. It told a story that people could easily follow. The facial expressions and mannerisms helped tell that story. It ran for the perfect amount of time, and not once did it feel like it was dull or dragging. The fact that not once did Kenny hit his finisher, setting up a scenario where people want a rematch to see what happens if he does hit Okada with it. And while not necessarily the sign of a classic match, it had people talking. The intention of this main event was to put new eyes on the product and to let people know who Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega were. And from my own experience, that's pretty true to life. And the hype surrounding this match of these two almost foreign, well, actually foreign competitors led me to watch it. And boy was I not disappointed. Whether or not you're a fan of pro wrestling, at least give this match a chance in order to better understand or even appreciate what they do. These are two men who put everything on the line for this one single match, even almost dying for real. Perhaps by watching it, you yourself could become a fan of wrestling and see many, many more matches and moments like this that embodies everything that makes it so fantastic. If you are a fan, check this out ASAP. You're not going to regret it. 10 out of 10.
So, greatest match of all time, eh? With that logic, I'm assuming there isn't one better, right? Ah, shit.